Welcome in, folks. It is time for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series playoffs, and we are here at the famed 1.3-mile monster, Darlington Raceway, trying to figure out who is going to be the round of 8 drivers for the playoffs. We have 12 right now going for that coveted top 8, but man, oh man, we have a long way to go and a great race ahead of us to get to that point. Welcome in, folks. This is race day. My name is Steve Tucker, and we are here, and I am excited. We are in the playoffs. It is time. Qualifying is just finished. We'll get to that in just a second. I apologize for coming in too late. We had some minor issues starting the stream, but it's all good. So we'll get to that in just a second. But big thanks to you folks for being here on YouTube, but also X right now. We're multi-streaming on both. So big thanks to you guys for being there. And our partners, obviously. Man, so many good people involved in this this community and in this league. We love to see it. So tonight, going to be a lot of fun. 160 laps here at Darlington, trying to figure out the first round of the playoffs. A lot of things to decide. A lot of storylines going on right now. And man, we're going to go down trackside, check in on the drivers, and get to it. So right now on track, I believe Brandon 6 was the pole sitter. We'll get confirmation of that in just a bit, but man, right now going to be a lot of fun to get this thing going. This is the typical warm-up session that we see about 5 minutes before the race goes green. They get a couple of minutes here just to kind of figure some things out, get warmed up, practice some pit road entry and exit, things like that. So going to be a lot of fun today, folks. 25 laps will be the first stage, trying to figure out how they can get that. And man, playoff points matter so much right now. So everybody on your screen, that'll be the green banners. You'll see Brandon 6 right here. We'll try to get a nice zoomed in image. There you go. All that lime green all over that that Battle Beaver car. That's the playoff banner. So everybody with that lime green, those are the ones you want to watch out for today. So today's not a cutoff race. No worries there. It's just basically 2 races here, Darlington and then Martinsville next week. So keep out for those guys right there. We will follow along as we go. But man, a lot on the line today. Trying to figure out this track, too tough to tame. Going to be a sunset race, so they'll start right now in the daytime. It'll kind of transition into a nighttime setting, or sunset, I guess, probably by the end of stage 2, I would say. Maybe even before then. But we'll definitely end at night, so that'll be pretty fun. Definitely gives the playoff vibes, as we always see. So good stuff today. Look at that in the chat. Savannah Rivera. Go Harris. Love you, babe. Oh my. Okay. Marshall Harris, our boy here. Where is he? There he is. 21 RC Cola Machine. Tell you what, already has some fans showing up. You'll love to see it. Nick Lights today. New ride. I saw this on X, actually. Pretty cool stuff. Fetched by Hosky on the front. Big old tennis ball. Love that. We'll talk more about these folks in just a bit, obviously. And Digital Downforce. Man, I love it when these guys, they come into the playoffs and they have the lime green banners and then they change their paint schemes based on that, right? So I'm looking at Mealy right now. It's all lime green, his paint scheme. I think Trevor Zelazny did the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, he did. So it's got some lime green there. Not too bad. Looking pretty good. So yeah, right now we have about 25 drivers here going to be going for this race. Ironically enough, Darlington has always been, for us, kind of a low attendance race. It's a hard track, right? Which I think is a lot of it. Even early season Darlington, we've had Darlington in some seasons, as of recently, like the 4th race, 5th race, and even then we still have about 25 people, even early on. So it's one of those tough tracks, but it's just it proves so hard to be, you know, one of those places where you have to just get through, right? It's difficult for a reason. But ironically enough, this is one of those places, as you can see right here, man, pit road, probably the hardest pit road, me personally, to get on. It is just so difficult. So we'll see that all day today. Green flag pit stops. You'll see Frankie Barroso here. Going to try and... I mean, that right there was pretty much perfect as far as how to get on pit road. It is so difficult. It just sneaks up on you. But also, too, this place I feel like is... And I mentioned it, I think, every time we come here. It's that Darlington effect, right? This place, it's difficult, but drivers race the racetrack first and then their competition, right? So, and also the apron, the stuff all down below the actual racing surface is so big and so wide that if a car spins out, you know, third lane on down, it's probably not going to bring out a caution because it's just so wide. So it's one of those things that can happen and usually does. So right now, warm-up practice is over with. We're going to get down to trackside here in just a second. We'll get to our starting grid for the race. Cannot wait to get this thing going for us right now. The DripDropz 225. Always a good time. Every single time. Down to trackside here, we're going to go zoom in, get some good angles of these cars, and look at this. Frankie Barroso going to be on the pole tonight. That's one extra playoff point, too. He started off this round with only 2. So right here, he gets that extra playoff point moving forward into the rounds. That is huge. Tim Robb going to be in P2. Awesome starting spot for Tim Robb. Andrew Phipps in 3rd spot. Devin Smecker in P4. Michael Johnson, P5. Trevor Zelazny, man, snuck in with that Atlanta win 2 weeks ago into the playoffs, and here he is. Joseph Mealy, P7. Max Brady, 8th. Brandon Billy, P9. Jared Kaler, P10. Brandon 6, rounding out P11. Jackson Anderson, regular season champion, P12. Nick Lights in 13th spot. Tyler Dohar, P14. Matthew Fleming, Christian Angel in P16. Matthew Pont, Grant Salzano, Julio Villalobos, and then Marshall Harris rounding out the top 20. And then finishing the field, Scott Gassorn, Kenny Reel, Daryl Young, Thomas George, and Austin Salyers. 25 drivers all going for this coveted Darlington win. 12 playoff drivers, obviously, in the hunt. But a couple more still for the contenders and the challenger brackets, which we'll talk about as the playoffs go. But right now, 25 drivers about to get going here. Caution flag is delayed. We're going to get a 1 lap buffer here to get this race going. So awesome, awesome stuff. Big shout out to DripDropz, obviously, coming on board as they always do. And Harpoon designed the banners here today and a lot of these paint schemes. So go check them out at harpoondesign.com. Also, check out the website, ASRA-iRacing.com. Brand new website. Kind of shows you all of our information and schedules, and also shows all of our partners too. So go and check them out. Links to their websites and whatnot. Man, awesome, awesome stuff. Premier Racing Setups for providing the setups tonight. These things have been kick-ass all season long, so awesome stuff. Shout out to the folks watching on X right now. We're multi-streaming onto X and onto YouTube. Let me know in the chat how you're feeling, how your night's going, and who you're rooting for. I already have one. A couple of Marshall Harris fans in the chat. We love that. Let's keep them coming. Darlington Raceway, got one more lap here before we go green. And it's lap 2. That'll go back down to lap 1. No worries there. Just a delayed yellow to start the race. Good stuff. I feel like race control sometimes does that to kind of give me some time to talk about the field and some intro stuff. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Matthew Kent, race control. Always doing great work behind the scenes, and appreciate him for sure. So, lap 25 will be the first stage. That will be the mark. 10 playoff points. Excuse me, 1 playoff point up for grabs, but also 10 points throughout that top 10 to get it going. Here we go. DripDropz 225 is in the hands of Frankie Barroso and Tim Robb on the front of the field. And we are so ready to get the ASRA playoffs underway right here in Darlington. Green flag is out. Frankie Barroso takes us green. And the track too tough to tame has already claimed one. Tyler Dohar on the inside of turn 4, got super loose, hard into the inside wall. No caution, we stay green. Not sure of the length of that damage. The left front probably is pretty well hit right now. He took a major lick. Might be coming down pit road here. Don't see any wheel damage. He might be okay. Sometimes these drivers get lucky with the net code and they kind of bounces back. Tim Robb, same thing. Oh no. He saved it though. He's going to be good to go here. I don't think any damage to that left side. Oh, yes, there is. Same thing, unfortunately, that happened to Tyler Dohar. You got to be careful. Turn 4 is extremely loose. And Frankie right there, already on lap 3. We are claiming a couple of ones right here. Man, the Darlington stripe normally happens on the right side of the car, but we're seeing it on the left already. Watch out for these guys right here. Teammates to Frankie Barroso. Andrew Phipps, Michael Johnson, all right there. Devin Smecker on board too. A lot of lime green in the top 10 right now. You'll see that a lot as we continue on. Let's ride on board real quick. Devin Smecker. We're going to go Hosky. Oh, yellow flag though. Hold on. We're not going to go Hosky Hot Lap. We're going to back it up a bit and see what just happened. Looks like Thomas George might have been the one who... Yeah, so our first yellow flag. Don't see any damage on the side of his car? Question mark. Our system says Thomas George was the cause of the yellow, but I don't see any damage. So let's go back and take a look here real quick if we can. Thomas, oof. Oh, does a great job locking it down. Yeah, so that is still on the racing surface, even though it's really only about 3 lanes wide. So let's go back a bit. I want to see if Austin Salyers gets involved with him at all. Yeah, so there's George right there kind of going down low of Grant Salzano. Austin Salyers right behind him. I think we got this a little early, but we'll let it play out for a second. I believe it happens right here out of turn. Ooh, Salyers catches up pretty quick. Oh yeah, Salyers just tagged him. No harm, no foul though. George, I don't think was really too far ahead in the field, but definitely no damage out of that. That's still a bummer though, for sure, on his part. But it is all good. So first caution. Bit of a bump there. And that part right there, turn 2 is definitely difficult because you have to arc it in such a way where that difference between braking and acceleration points are so different than anywhere else. So that doesn't surprise me that that happened, especially early on. So Thomas George looking pretty good right now. Lap 6, our first caution. Right now the DripDropz 225 being led by Frankie Barroso. Good stuff right here. Just like that, 1 lap to go. Big thanks to our partners, obviously. Premier, Admin Box, Hosky, Cardano, Battle Beaver. A lot of great people in our corner, and we appreciate that. Folks, big thanks to you guys for showing up today on race day. Man, big race. A lot of notables, I feel like, today, right? I mean, Frankie has not won a race yet this season. I wouldn't say crawled his way into the playoffs. He definitely earned it based on points. Inconsistency, but man, that win has got to be coming. And Darlington has typically been one of his best tracks. This has been a Bowie Esports track now for the last 4 seasons. Frankie won 2 of them, then Brandon Six won the other 2 in the last 4. So definitely been dominant by those guys, but I've got a feeling we'll see some different players today. I really think Smecker, Mealy, I think these guys have something today for them. I think Mealy is looking pretty good too, so we'll see how that goes. Going to go back green here already on lap 7. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Geico restart zone. And we are off. Really good stuff right here already. Frankie and Andrew Phipps really out front. The clean air today, we'll talk about that a lot today. The clean air is so absolutely necessary at this particular track. Good stuff right now. Back to the field, Christian Angel, Matthew Fleming. A lot of these guys navigating the hard corners right here. This right here, side by side through turn 2 is so sketchy. You watch Caucasorn here and Villalobos. They make it work. Kenny Real going to make a move here too, but it's just so difficult to kind of sneak your way through. Turn 3 and 4, not so bad. You can make it work, but turn 2 on exit, man, it is just really difficult. Evan Schmucker, here we go. We'll try it again this time. You can really see, I have to duck down right here. See, duck down and then come back onto the outside wall. Just saw Zelazny hit the wall through his windshield. That can be super difficult. Downshift to turn 4th gear right here. You can ride that white line right there. It works pretty well, I feel like, early on. Later on, it might get too tight. But here's a great angle right here. Hold on to 4th gear. Dip below the apron to kind of get it to turn. Ride that outside wall. And then come right on down. And watch out for the wall on the outside. Woof. It's so sketchy, this place, but man, I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun to drive. And Devin Smacker looking very good so far. Right now in P5, has a good chance at making some things happen. A little further on back, Brandon Bowie, right now fighting Nick Lights on the inside. Ooh, some wall right there. We're going to hear that a lot. Some wall scrapage on the right side of these cars here. End of the race, maybe we'll see who has the worst Darlington stripe. A lot of guys, though, doing pretty well. Single file so far. Starting to kind of ease itself out. Looking like a couple of guys in the back here. Daryl Young still making the outside lane work. Marshall Harris going to be fighting alongside Daryl Young here in that 21. Looking pretty good. Holding down the fort right there. Currently in 20th place. But up front, things have gotten tighter. Frankie Barroso, Andrew Phipps right now in P1 and 2, but man, Michael Johnson, he's coming. Zelazny as well. These guys looking really good early on. Lap 14 already. This race is going to go by pretty quick. Fuel mileage isn't going to be a huge concern as far as the first stage. They can go about 35 laps, give or take, if they stretch it a little bit, but typically 33 to 35 laps on fuel. Stage 1 ends in about 10 laps, so not going to be a concern there for fuel. Stage 2, there will be. Stage 2, they will definitely have to pit in that green flag, so it's just a matter of when they do it. Right now, Smecker making a good move here alongside Zelazny. Got to be so careful to give himself some room. Ooh, little wiggle. Max Brady going to try and stuff it in too. Some door banging involved. It is just so tight. Little wiggle out of Brady right there. It's really loose, especially on fresh tires. Out of turn 4. Early on. Once we start to hit the sunset and then nighttime, it definitely tightens up once the grip levels come in. Some tire gets laid down, but right now, man, just some good racing here in Darlington on lap 16. I can't peel away from this battle because this is just too good. 4 cars under a blanket. Brady here going to be given that position. Mealy and Anderson here looking to both make it happen. Ooh, Mealy almost got into the back of that right or the left rear. That can be scary coming out of turn 2. But they maintain it. Andrew Phipps, he's right there on the back end of that 48. And he is inching close. Andrew Phipps, not a playoff driver, as indicated by not having that green playoff banner. But man, he has looked so good this season. Has had some bad luck, right? A couple of guys have had some bad luck, but have run really well. I think of Phipps. I think of, Christian Angel, right? Those guys. Thomas George, even to a degree. Right now, though, looking pretty stout early on. In this race, like I mentioned earlier, it's really going to come down to track position. The fall off from these tires, in real world, right? I mean, man, they are going to be screaming for tires after a fuel run or things like that, right? And the fall off is typically about 3 seconds or so, but in sim right here, it's about a second, the fall off. So it's really not that bad. Fresh tires will definitely matter for sure. It's just a matter of, you know, how much do they push? And right now, I mean, guys like Frankie, you know, Phipps, look at even Michael Johnson really running the outside line here and doing it really, really well. If you can stay up front, I think that's the plan, right? Get those stage points, get the stage win, you know, things like that. But if you're kind of mired back, maybe mid to late pack, I'm seeing Scott Casorn just crashed, actually. He's on the far inside track, so no caution for that. Big damage, unfortunately, for him. But as I was saying, if you're mid-pack, you know, Nick Lights, Brandon Bowie, 6 maybe, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if these guys kind of take stage 1, kind of throw it away, for lack of a better word, and save a tire set, right? Maybe you don't take tires at the end of stage 1. You know, maybe you save a set for stage 2, right? Maybe you take your set mid-stage 2 when you get a pit, and then maybe you take them at the end of stage 2 as well. So, not sure how that works out, but it all comes down to setting yourself up for the best track position late in the race. Christian Angel, though, looking pretty good, too. Working on, actually, Brandon 6. A good angle here. That 75 making it look pretty good. Yeah, just working the outside line. I thought I saw some right front damage there, but I don't think that is the case. So, pretty strong stuff for a lot of these drivers here. In lap 22, we're coming down to the stage end already. Some lap traffic up ahead. Tyler Dohar with that early lap 1 incident. Car might be okay. It just has to come down to, needs that caution, that stage to come back in, fix the damage. Does not want to go a lap down here. Grant Salzano as well. Didn't see him having any issues, but he's also quite slow as well. But it comes down to this. Lap 25, they will throw the yellow for the stage, and Frankie Barroso, this is exactly the kind of start he needed to begin his playoff run. Looking very, very good up front in P1. So a lap away from the stage here for the DripDropz 225. One small caution involving Thomas George earlier on, but quick yellow it was. And right now it looks like Dohar and Salzano are going to be staying out front. Not going to go a lap down here. And there he is. Frankie Barroso going to be the stage 1 winner. Just like that. Stage winner for Frankie Barroso in that 48. Good stuff right there. He'll be happy to see that. I'll tell you what, he struggled a lot in practice. Last night, every Monday night, we have like an official league practice, and man, he was struggling pretty hard. But sometime between then and now, he has figured it out. So good stuff right there. We'll bring him in just a second, right after they do their pit stops and whatnot. So far, a fantastic race. We'll let them all come down pit road in just a second. But so far, a fantastic race. Folks, want to bring something up real quick. Unfortunately has happened, so lost a brother recently. The crypto community suffered a huge loss this week with the passing of Matthew Plomin. Matthew was the president and co-founder of USDM by Moneda, which is Cardano's premier fiat-backed stablecoin. Matthew also co-founded the W3I software in which his USDM stablecoin was created. These companies partnered with Murphy Esports in the ASRA in Season 7 of the Cup Series, including paint schemes and race sponsorships. Above all, he was a family man. He is survived by his wife Jillian, whom he co-founded USDM and W3I with, and their 7 wonderful children. Matt leaves a legacy of love and achievement that will continue to inspire those who knew him. While his passing leaves an immeasurable void, Matt's legacy of faith, family, and innovation will live on in the hearts of all who loved him. He was 44 years old. Matthew Plomin, Rest in peace. All right, folks, welcome back right now to the DripDropz 225. Right now, at the end of stage 1. And man, these yellow flags just rip off. I thought these periods were a lot faster, but they are not. So we're going to not have time to bring in Frankie Barroso, the stage winner. We'll definitely bring him in the next stage if we can. But these yellow flags wrap up pretty quick here. So, about to go back green. We'll talk to your stage winner here in a bit. If we get a yellow flag before now in the stage end, we'll talk to him for sure. But either way, a lot going on to decide. A bunch of interesting strategy at the end of stage 1 here. Brandon 6, Matthew Fleming, Villalobos. I've got a feeling these guys didn't take tires. Fuel only potentially. Saving a set because that track position matters so much. But here we go. Brandon 6, Matthew Fleming, take the green flag. And stage 2 is here. Beginning of stage 2 right now, Brandon 6 and Frankie Barroso up front right here. We know Frankie got fresh tires, but a lot of these guys bouncing off the wall. Look at the back of the field right here. Thomas George bouncing off of it. We saw in the first lap too. I believe it was maybe Christian Angel as well, bouncing off the wall. I see some right side damage just a little bit, but these guys definitely... Ooh, George might be in trouble here. I can't tell if he's out of shape or not. He is slow off the pace here. Back in the field, though, lap 32. Just getting stage 2 going. Scott Casor and Marshall Harris battling it out here. So far, so good. Tim Raw being shown a lap down right now. Potentially to fix some damage, but man, good stuff. Frankie Barroso is right here on the back end of Brandon 6. Going to go for the lead here into turn 1. Not going to quite get it just yet. He has the fresh tires, has to just be patient here. Turn 2 might not be the spot to do it. He backs up and waits it out. But now Fleming, and look at Michael Johnson, the speed he has through turn 3. Unbelievable here. Gets through it. Max Brady not too far back either. So far, great racing right here. Daryl Young up front as well, P7. So we're seeing a lot of different strategy. These guys know how much the track position matters. Passing is just too difficult. So if you can put yourself in a position to be up front and not even take tires. That probably is a good scenario. Tires will definitely matter in the long run, but if you're running mid to back pack and you put yourself in a position to stay out front, hey, why not? Daryl Young struggling a little bit right here on the high lane, but making it work. 3 wide, I think, here for Brendan Bowie. Pushes it 3 wide. Uses the apron. Hey, why not? Mealy going to try and cross over right here, down low. Looks like he will. Bowie going to have the ideal lane entering turn 1, though, on the high lane. How tight does Mealy squeeze him? Man, Mealy just did not give him any single room at all. Good battle right here, though. This is the thing. Every single position matters, and track position is just so hard to come by. Man, they are just not giving an inch. Villalobos right there, too. Mealy trying to push it 3 there still. Oh, Mealy. I love it. The aggression level's high, but still maintaining good position there. So Frankie Barroso, during that time, maintains the lead. Michael Johnson in P2 as well. I'll tell you what, a couple of fast hot rods right there. Max Brady the same. Brandon 6 fall back a little bit, back down to P5 right now, as well as Fleming. So these guys still up there in that front. And this is, I think this is their strat, right? If they cannot take tires like they did right there, but still somehow maintain maybe a top 10 in this cycle, that's a great move, because now later in the race, maybe even during the green flag pit stop, you take tires there, or do you save them for, you know, stage 3, all of them? I don't know, but you set yourself up for just a way better advantage in the second half of the race. Really good job though so far by everyone. Lap 39 right now. Almost on lap 40. 75 laps in will be the stage end. Andrew Phipps making his way around. Fleming as well. This battle right here is still brewing right now. Kaler, Nick Lights, and that fetch by Hosky machine. I love that paint scheme. Looking really good. Tennis ball on the front side of it. Always a fan of that. Good stuff. Jackson Anderson making a move here around Brandon 6. Again, this is the fresh tires, right? This is the fresh tires versus the older tires. Trying to see what they can do early on in this race. Really tough battle here out of turn 2. No way. Andrew Phipps goes for 3 wide here. Ooh, decides against it. Lets him go. Smart move there by Phipps to not push the issue too hard right now. It's so early. Overall, very, very good racing so far. Frankie Barroso still up front. Michael Johnson in P2. Followed by Max Brady and Trevor Zelazny, hard-charging drivers. Really, really good stuff. Back in the field, quick update. Couple of guys in the back of the field right now. Tyler Dohar. Looks like his car might have been fixed, actually. I see some left front. Looks like he's a lot better than what he was before, so some damage replaced on that. Tim Robb right now being shown a lap down. Not sure why. He wasn't a lap down before, but that car looks pretty clean. So we know he had an issue earlier on. Probably stayed in the pits to get it all fixed. Has the lucky dog spot. He's the only car a lap down, so he'll get it back once he yellow flag comes out or whatnot. He'll get the wave around. So good stuff there. Kenny Real 23rd. Scott Gasorn in 22nd. All holding on right now. Yes, Gasorn has that left front damage, you can see. Not too good right there, but has enough time to fix it. Race is still early. Celzano in 21st. Again, no damage here. It just might be a pace issue. Can't really tell. Unless, again, saving tires could be a possibility. Brandon 6 comes down pit road here. Interesting call. Lap 45. So here he is. Playoff driver. Comes down pit road. I see some right side damage. Definitely has kissed the wall at least once. But comes down, I'm guessing for tires and full of fuel. Looks like might be splitting this stage. I like the call. Hey, why not? Put yourself in position to try different things. And there go the tires. Okay. That's what's going on there. Thomas George Villalobos. Thomas George climbing back through the ranks after his issues early on. Bunch of guys here still fighting for it. There he is, Marshall Harris. In 14th spot right now, so holding on to it pretty tight. Really good run by a lot of these guys. Oh, man, Matthew Pons just killed the wall in P12. Not sure if y'all saw that. He's kind of in the background, but whew, slammed it. It's tough out there. You got to be so careful. Right now, Jared Kaler making a move maybe alongside Nick Lights. Looks like he might get this move at some point. Oh, he nicked into the wall there too. Yeah, really loose on to turn 4 here, but as the sun goes down, the track does tighten up as more rubber gets laid down onto the track, so that'll happen. Nick still into the wall, good lord. Woo-wee. Tight conditions. Man, tell you what, these guys are not giving an inch. I'm telling you, they know the advantage of the track position. It just means a lot. A couple of more guys down pit road. Daryl Young, here he is. Scott Casorn as well. Daryl Young, again, another one of the drivers who stayed out, or not maybe stayed up, but didn't get tires at the end of stage 1. So Fleming as well. Looked like it was already on pit road as well. We missed that, so my bad. But yeah, so these guys, they're splitting this stage. Coming down now, taking the tires and the fuel. And then off they go. So Daryl Young comes back out. Going to be a lap down right there, but still time to catch back up. So 25 laps to go here in stage 2. So far, a really good race. Frankie Broso just really taking care of this. Nick Lights, man, a second ago, he was in for it. Let's go on board real quick, see if we can kind of figure out where his car's at. Actually, hold on. Brendan Bowie comes down pit road. Maybe, or was there an issue here? Nope. Okay, yeah, no issue, but comes down pit road. Interesting call. The strategy here is going to be really interesting. Most guys took the tires and the fuel at the end of stage 1, but we're seeing some guys here splitting it. They got to pit for fuel anyway. Everyone does, before the stage ends. But those tires will be key. Right now, though, teammates back-to-back, P7 and 8. Joseph Mealy not too far back either in P10. So great stuff right here. Trying to do what they can here in Darlington. 2 back-to-back tracks, though, are super difficult. Darlington today, and then Martinsville next week. So we are not gonna we're not gonna slow down at all as we continue on to Martinsville. Definitely a tough track, a tough place, and going to be a lot of fun to decide the round of 8 next week. Austin Salyers right here in P14. Again, a couple of guys just holding on to it right now. Salyers, no damage on that machine at all, but just kind of hanging out. And this isn't a bad place to be, right? I look at Salyers, Harris maybe, even Thomas George, who had that spin out earlier on, caused the only caution of the night so far. But not looking too bad. I mean, they're kind of just, in their lane. That's not a bad move to be in, especially earlier on in this race. A couple of more guys coming down pit road here. Looks like Christian Angel, Matthew Ponce, both on pit road. And this is the thing. What do they do here? Christian Angel, I believe, took tires before in stage 1. What does he do now? Is it fuel only? So far, it looks like it is. Yes, it is. Fuel only for the 75 Matthew Ponce as well. So these guys are saving their set of tires in stage 2 and not in stage 1 like we saw a couple of guys do. So interesting call right there. Daryl Young, 24th place right now. He pit early, so he's good to go. He's good to go for the end of this stage and has those fresh tires. So he'll probably work his way back onto the lead lap the old school way by passing the leader here in just a bit. And this is a great visual of what the tires can do at a track like this. This place is an absolute cheese grater for tires. And Daryl Young is catching the leader pretty quickly here as we approach lap 57. Frankie will probably give this up just because it's not really floor position, obviously, but there it is. Daryl Young gets his lap back. And that's big, because if a caution comes out, he's already on the lead lap. He can just kind of go around the track, right? Which is huge. So that is good for him. Austin Salyers, pit road right now. Green flag pit stops about to be going down. And this is about time when we expect it to happen. So you figure fuel mileage is about 35 laps, give or so, or give or take. So lap 25 was the first stage. So yeah, we expect everybody to start, or the majority of drivers starting to pit about now. About this 60 to 65 laps in, definitely we'll start to see it. Jackson Anderson comes down here. Thomas George. Bunch of guys making it happen. Thomas George still looks good even after his incident earlier on. Fuel only there for Anderson. It would appear like Thomas George may be the same. Didn't see that right side go up. So fuel only there for Thomas as well. The lead still maintains to Frankie Barroso, Michael Johnson. Looking really, really good. These two, I'll tell you what. These two right now, they kind of seem like the favorites this race, right? Max Brady, obviously, we know is fast. We see it. Delasny as well, but they haven't really been able to keep up, I guess, with Johnson and Barroso. So we'll see what they can do. Andrew Phipps here on pit road now, as more green flag pit stops are underway. Villalobos. And a guy like Andrew Phipps we know is fast. So what does he do here? I feel like saving as many sets of tires as you can for the second half of the race is probably key for sure. Fuel only, it would appear like, for that 22 machine. Looking good. Max Brady gives up a top 4 right here. Comes down to pit road. When can we expect the leaders? Max Brady is out here now, so that might force the issue for the top 2, top 3. And it does. Here's Frankie Barroso, the leader, coming down pit road. Trevor, Nick Lights, Max Brady, Kenny Reel, a lot of these guys coming down now. And this is that time frame. Michael Johnson, good move here. Stays out one more lap. Gets that extra point for leading a lap here. Smart move. Probably expect Michael to come down this time. Yes, he does. As well as Smecker, I believe I saw. And Mealy. So Murphy Eastward drivers all coming down pit road. A lot of guys coming down pit road the right way. Very, very impressed by these guys not making mistakes onto pit road so far. This place is not easy to do it. And they're making it happen. Michael Johnson, what does he do here for strat? I mean, obviously you want to try and beat Frankie Barroso for the stage, if at all possible, right? So what do you do? Do you take the fuel? Do you take the tires? 2 right sides, maybe? Johnson, fuel only, it appears like. Frankie's already long gone as well. So he'll be taking over the lead. It should be, at least. As he continues And look at who's right behind him, Brandon 6. So this is what's kind of gone on here. Brandon 6 has those fresh tires. So he will probably pass Frankie here with his strategy. And by doing what he has done, he'll be in front for the beginning of stage 3. So this is working quite well for Brandon 6 right now. Dohar comes down pit road as well. Has some damage to fix, but really not too bad. Yeah, there it is. You saw I just buff out there, so good stuff. Tim Robb as well down pit road. Green flag pit stops just about done as we start to wind down to stage 2. 10 laps to go here. As we start to wind it down. So Frankie Barroso takes over the lead, but Brandon 6 is right there. Again, on the fresh tires. That strategy, I'll tell you what, worked out so well. And the same drivers who were on that were drivers like Matthew Fleming. You know, Daryl Young. It didn't quite work out well for them. Mired back in traffic a bit, not able to get through as efficiently, but this lead is about to change. Frankie does not have the fresh tires, but 6 does. So we're about to get a lead change, maybe. Or does Frankie have enough to really just hold on to it, right? That track position is really, really important. I was running in practice last night too, and just for the hell of it, and I noticed that, man, once you get somebody behind you, it's so hard for them to pass. Just based on that dirty air, you saw it right there. Brendan got loose. The dirty air is killer at a track like this. But he's there. The fresh tires should prevail more than the dirty air does, so difficult. You can tell Frankie's trying to hold on to it, but that might not be enough. 6 gonna get a pass here. Frankie into the wall just a little bit. 6 though, still strong and still stays in it. Not gonna have the advantage into turn 1, but yeah, Frankie has the preferred lane. Gets around really, really well. This is huge, right? This is for a playoff point. This could help get you through into the next round, especially a driver like Frankie who really needs these. He's earned 2 so far this race. But a battle for the lead here as lap traffic is in front of him. Blaze Crawford is a playoff driver, but entered this race late. He's a part of that iRacing Contender Series, trying to get into the Cup Series or the Coke Series, so good stuff for him. But man, they are battling hard. Crawford respectfully should probably get out of the way of this if it comes down to it, but man, they are not giving it up. 6 might have it here. He does. He clear. Oh, maybe not. Maybe doesn't clear him just yet. Man, what a great battle amongst teammates. Ooh, 6 bounces into the side of Frankie Barroso. Frankie's not going to give it up. Teammates or not, you're not a teammate when you're trying to advance yourself into the next round of the playoffs. And this is the aggression level we expected to see. That playoff point could get you through the next round. And Frankie, I know he is not a huge fan of Martinsville next week, so that could be huge. Good stuff so far, but that dirty air is just key. And the more they go, the more those tires, those fresh tires that 6 has, evens out. Great battle here too. Michael Johnson, Devin Schmecker going for top 3. Schmecker going to get the move here. Man, great stuff there for that number 26. But the lead still under fire. We're going to watch this battle because it is just not cooling down at all. Frankie still against 6 and holding on to it. What a run here by 6. He's going to get a run, but does he have enough runway here to dive it in? He doesn't. Oh, 6 just comes up. Oh my word, 6 really, really out of shape here. Going to hold on to it, maintains it. Tough racing there falls in right in front of his teammate, Michael Johnson. But, man, that's just two guys where they're going for it. Frankie Barroso is going to weather the storm here of stage 2. Holds off Brandon 6, his teammate, for stage 2. And Frankie Barroso going to come around here and win stage 1 and 2 with the pole. My, oh my. Drama in that buoy camp already. Tough racing and tough love, but man, Frankie Barroso walks away with the stage 2 win. Unbelievable. I do not want to be in that Discord channel right now. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Good stuff there by Frankie for sure. P2, Devin Smecker, man, what a great run. Smecker, I told you earlier in the race, I think Smecker might have something for these boys. He's looking quick today. Brandon 6, after that tough battle in P3, Michael Johnson 4th, Max Brady 5th for stage 2. Rounding up the top 10, Phipps, Fleming, Anderson, Mealy, and Lights. So good stuff for all those top 10. So we'll give it a second here. We'll let him come down pit road. Then we'll talk to Frankie. I know we didn't talk to him earlier for stage 1. But we will this time. And it works because he won both of them. So nice and easy. But pit road time. What do we do here? That's the question. A lot of these guys, 4 tires and fuel probably makes the most sense in this situation. But a lot of these guys might not, right? I mean, do you take no tires? Do you take... It's so difficult, but I think right here, this is what you wanted to do, in my opinion. You wanted to set yourself up in the best way that you could at the beginning of stage 3. And right here, I feel like we have the guys who are trying to go for it at the front. Brandon 6 right there. Looks like going to get beat out. So Frankie Barroso, Smecker, and 6, your top 3. Man, really, really good stuff. Let's bring in real quick Frankie Barroso. Now that we have a second here, let's try and see if we can bring him in. Here he is, Frankie Barroso, stage 1 and 2 winner, as well as the pole. So he is just on his way here to a perfect game. But hey, that tension in that Discord channel might be cuttable with a knife, Frankie. How's that? How's it going right now? Because stage 2 looks pretty dicey up against your teammate Brandon 6.
Yeah, it was dicey to say the least. Like I said, nothing Brandon or I did wrong. We were just racing super hard, and I told him I had to fight for him because I've got the least amount of playoff points. So if they're in front of me, if I can close that gap, if I don't win this race, if I move on to the next round, then that'll help. And understandably, he wasn't super happy, but I think he understands. It's all part of the game, and hopefully we can hold them off.
Yes, sir. So far, really good job, man. I mean, how's the track feeling? I know we're going to get down to like sunset conditions now, and even nighttime pretty soon. Is the track changing? What are you seeing?
I mean, track is definitely changing. It definitely got a little tighter that last run. So I got a little tight, but honestly, it wasn't anything too bad. But we'll see. I assume it'll only get tighter, but we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, man. Hey, good job so far. Keep it going, dude.
All right, thank you.
All right, there he is. Frankie Barroso, man, tough way. He is not putting... Well, I guess he's putting everything on the line right now to win these stages. And so far, so good for Frankie Barroso, that 48. Choose is happening right now. You just saw Blaze Crawford up front, but he's taking that wave around to try and get him back onto the lead lap, or at least one of the lead laps. He's down quite a bit right now, but just out here for points trying to maintain a decent spot as he tries to still advance into the playoffs, but we'll see. Right now, though, stage 3 about to begin. Frankie Rosso, Brandon 6 up front. Everyone on fresh tires and full of fuel, so... But here we go. No more stages. And half the race to go. We'll expect to see the sunset starting to kind of fade down now and nighttime to start kicking in. And nighttime Darlington is the place to be for sure. So here we go. Green flag, back at it on lap 80. So exactly the halfway point of this race. And back at it we go. DripDropz 225 is back green. Really good job right there. Daryl Young way off pace right here. I'm not sure if he got slowed down or got knocked out of the way, but great job recovering. Holds on to it and keeps that machine, that 71 going. Good stuff there for Daryl Young. Back in the field, though, still single file for the most part, but right here, Mealy and Bowie going at it pretty hard. Bowie has the speed. We've seen him having the speed here on a track like this. Ooh, tough right there. Uh-oh, Thomas George, huge hit into the wall on the inside of turn number 3 and 4. Locks it down. Tried to back it up onto the racing surface to probably get a yellow flag, but that did not happen. We know what you're doing, Thomas George. Didn't happen, unfortunately. And he is going to be having some big, big damage there for that 17. Single file for the most part, though, as we continue on the second half of this race. And as I was saying, Brendan Bowie has the speed. We've seen him at tracks like this in the past, but right now, mired back into 13th. So definitely not where he wants to be. But again, track position is just so hard to come by. But so far, we haven't really seen a lot of aggression, right? That's the thing. The track is difficult. So drivers are driving the racetrack and not necessarily the competition first. And that's really, really good to see. Difficult for sure. A couple of guys up front. Got to talk about them. Christian Angel right now up to P9. Very, very good stuff. Obviously not in the championship playoffs, but in the challenger playoffs. So it's kind of a mid-tier bracket, I guess, for a secondary championship. But right here, looking pretty good. But I think now these guys are in for the long haul, right? So you want to push hard here, maybe. You want to, kind of get that track position. But this is also, 80 laps to get to the checkered, right? So if this thing stays green, knock on wood, they will have to pit twice for fuel. They can probably stretch it a little bit, but not enough to really make it less than 2 stops. So 2 stops for fuel at a minimum will be required. And they'll probably take tires both of those times. Now, if a caution comes out, depending on how long it is and things like that, it probably might mean, they can squeeze it by 1 or 2 or whatnot. Maybe they, come in for fuel, right during that caution. It all depends. Ooh, Harris really off right there. Good job recovering. And Frankie mentioned it, right? The track is definitely tightening up. So we're going to see those little, loose bobbles coming out of turn 3 and 4, like we saw George just do a second ago. That'll kind of go away a little bit because the track is gripping up, right? And the temperatures are going down, which means the rubber grips harder, or I guess better, onto the surface. So we'll see these cars kind of get tighter, more comfortable to drive, I guess, on corner exit, which is good. That's what they want for sure. So Jackson Anderson fighting right now. Christian Angel making it work. So far, a great race. One caution is what we've had just for a super minor incident involving Thomas George earlier on. I believe 6 laps in. So good stuff right here. The only cautions or wrecked cars really have been self-inflicted. So good stuff so far in this field. Front of the pack, Frankie Barroso. So far been dominating this race, quite frankly. Just out front the entire time. Looking really, really good. Brandon 6. Obviously, we know how fast he is. Trying to go for that first one of the season. Michael Johnson the same, right? He's been so consistent. And came so close to being that regular season champion. But just couldn't quite get it done. Either way, has looked extremely fast today. Still trying to find out and get that elusive first win in this series. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Just a matter of when, right? It could be today. A couple of guys in the back still fighting for pretty hard right here. Grant Salzano, Austin Salyers. Good racing here. This is for back in 14th and 15th. Salzano making a good move. Almost had that momentum there, but didn't quite get it. Has to hold on just a bit more. Good stuff right now for the DripDropz. 225. Huge thanks to them for tonight's race and bringing this action to your living room. Man, good stuff right now. Lap 92. Working our way through stage number 3. The last stage, so no more planned cautions, no more interruptions, I guess you could say. At least planned ones. So really good job so far by everyone involved, man. Great, great racing. Jump on board here real quick. Devin Smacker, I want to show everybody kind of what we're dealing with as far as conditions on track. So right now you can kind of see some really good stuff here. On board Smacker. He's got his teammate Nick Lights right behind him. Look at that sun. Oh my word. Out of turn 3 and 4. It just blinds you completely. So we are just about in that sunset phase. Turn 3 and 4 is just so difficult. At this point with that sun, Nick Lights right behind him. We're going to give you a double Hosky hot lap right now. Nick Lights right behind his teammate Devin Smacker. Comes out of turn 2, then bam, right there. Bright sunlight, especially into the braking zone here of turn 3. If you're battling somebody side by side right now into turn 3, it's not going to be an easy task. But man, really good stuff here by these Murphy Esport drivers. Getting it done. Impressive run by a lot of these guys right now. We're seeing just this big long snake on the backstretch right here of all these guys staying single file, kind of just settling in, I feel like. We're seeing Bowie right now battling Jared Kaler. This is for a top 12. Trying to make it happen. Good racing, though. Tough to pass, but good racing. And always impressive by these drivers. I'll tell you what, when you put together some of the best drivers on the service, and you put them on one of the toughest tracks in NASCAR, quite frankly, man, you can put on one hell of a show. And these guys are doing just that. We just saw Thomas George come back on track, actually, so there he is. Pretty well beat up on that front end. Unfortunately, just got loose out of turn 4 and crashed it pretty hard. Matthew Punk going to try and sneak on through if he can, but Zelazny as well. Tough stuff right here. These guys all in the back trying to do what they can. Tim Robb, I don't think he has damage, so I'm not sure why he's so slow, quite frankly, because he qualified P2. So he is very off the pace, unless there's just damage we don't know about. Maybe a wheel or whatnot. But, man, unfortunate for Tim Robb. He was looking so quick earlier on. Tyler Dohar as well. Kind of just holding on to it. as we start to get into the depth of stage 3 here. Damage pretty well fixed. I think it's just a matter of kind of getting through, right? Just getting that track position. I've got a feeling he's the kind of guy right now who needs a good handful of cautions just to kind of catch up, right? Catch the field. But the work is definitely on his plate right now, trying to get through this field. Zelazny has fallen back quite a bit. P17 right now. Qualified quite well, I believe, in the top 10 right now, and just has not been able to maintain that. He was top 4 for a while in stage 2, but has not gotten his way through. Grant Salzano, P15. Villalobos, 16th. And these guys right here are a good example of guys kind of just holding it down, right? Salyers as well. But have looked, you know, good today, right? Clean races, no damage from what I can see. And, you know, maybe just a pace issue, maybe not as fast as they wanted it to or whatnot. But either way, a clean looking car, you know, right outside that top 10. Not a bad run for sure. Plenty laps to still make it better. Just the same. Brandon Bowie, P13. Playoff driver as well. Struggling a little bit. P13, not great. About midway through the pack. A little more than halfway through. And trying to do what he can right now. Fleming has held on quite well as Anderson. Teammates right here. Fleming was one of those drivers who in stage 2 did not take tires initially. Same strategy as Brandon 6, but just wasn't able to get through traffic as well. And here's Mealy trying to get into that top 10 and crack it. Not too bad, though. That digital downforce machine looking pretty good. It looks sick with that lime green banner, I will say. Looking very, very good. Looking pretty sleek. Andrew Phipps kind of making his way through the field as well in P8. He's down a couple spots, 5 spots from his starting spot of P3. So he's trying to get back to the front. Very consistent today. Definitely has the speed. And, man, he definitely has what it takes. Just has to get to the front. Christian Angel, P7. What a great run for him. He needs this for sure. The Challenger bracket is much more difficult than the championship one in the sense of, hey, at the end of 2 races, it goes from 8 drivers to 2. So he is trying what he can to advance himself in that bracket. A couple of lead changes here. Looks like Brandon 6, Michael Johnson making a move here. Not for the lead, excuse me, but for P2 and 3. Frankie Rosso still holding on to it pretty strong. 6 kind of falling back here, actually, a little bit. Gonna get passed here by 2 guys. Brady and Michael Johnson, his teammate. Gonna fall in line back here to P4. It would appear like, so. Tough stuff here. Still, man, Smecker is on his behind. Doesn't look like he's going to get through. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, good stuff. We're going to start to see, or we should start to see, initial green flag pit stops here relatively soon. Again, 35 laps is kind of that area for the fuel. Went back green about what, lap 80 or so. So maybe about 5 to 10 laps from now, we'll start to see those green flag pit stops. Yeah, Brandon 6 losing 2 more spots here too, so I'm not sure if he's holding up on purpose. Maybe he realizes that he can save some fuel here and make something better for himself. We'll see. But Frankie Barroso holds down the fort in P1 and Michael Johnson into P2. Oh, man, I thought for a second Andrew Phipps just lost it. But he held on to it. Great job there. With Fleming right to the outside. Man, Mealy does a great job right there, crossing over Anderson. They are on the move now. We just saw a couple of guys come down pit road. Salzano, Matthew Pont. So there they are, as well as Tim Robb. So we're starting to see early green flag pit stops here early. As Frankie Rosso just had a moment there as well. A lot of guys getting loose. So lap 108. Winding this race down pretty quick, I will say. Typically, these are like 2-hour races. maybe a little more, but right now we're seeing some excellent racing. Quick stuff. Anderson comes down pit road early. Regular season champion right here. Starts off this playoff run with the most points. Gets those 4 fresh tires. And off he goes. Christian Angel up to P6. Working his way back up. You know, this is kind of, I say it to people sometimes too, right? Darlington is one of those tracks where it kind of has, oh, there go the lights. Lights have just come on. You can tell because the track just brightens up out of nowhere. Let's take a look. On board Christian Angel now. Yeah, you can really see the lights coming on. Ooh, comes down pit road here. This is a good timing. You can really get a good glimpse at how hard this track is. Look at this. To come down pit road. Kind of comes down here gingerly. Look at how much Phipps gains. Ooh! Him and Mealy. Little bumper cars there on pit road entrance. Christian took that pit road entry pretty conservatively, as you saw how much Phipps just gained. But it's just so difficult. Sunset starting to really go down behind the stands now. There's a lot of these guys coming down pit road. More guys. Green flag pit stops have begun on lap 112. Joseph Mealy, Christian Angel comes down pit road now, so a bunch of guys here in the top 10. All doing their thing. Lead lap drivers, leaders still not coming down just yet. Here comes Smecker and Lights. Really good job right now. This is key. These green flag pit stops are massive. If you can come down pit road quickly and fast, right? And then get a good start, come off pit road nice. That is ideal. But this place, you cannot have any forced issues, right? You got to be super careful. No speeding, no spinning out prior to the, pit road, things like that. Right now, we're seeing a lot of these leaders coming down pit road. Here they all come. Barroso, Brady, Fleming, Kaler. So Brandon 6 stays out, as well as Bowie and Dohar. So interesting calls here. What does Frankie do? Obviously 4 tires and fuel we expect. A lot of these guys, Michael Johnson, Zelazny really slow into his pit box. I'm not sure if that was some kind of an issue or whatnot, but there goes Fleming. And there they all go right there. So everyone going to beat off pit road. And there goes Frankie. So Brandon 6 takes the lead over, as well as Bowie in P2, Tyler Dohar in P3. So Dohar seems like he's going to be maybe on the same strat as whatever 6 and Bowie are doing here. We will see. Not pitting just yet. Looks like they're going to wait until the last possible second to come down pit road. Not a bad move, maybe. Good stuff, folks. Now the green flag stops are just about done. We'll take a step aside real quick and go race day non-stop and thank some sponsors. But you won't miss any action on track. Be right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy life. Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping. Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight. Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
And right now we are coming back to the DripDropz 225. Tyler Dohar gives up P2 right here. Almost smacks the the sand barrels coming down pit road, but keeps it going. And follows in Brandon 6 down to pit road. I'll tell you what, tires matter so much. You just saw him under our non-stop, desperately wanting to come down pit road because he was getting passed left and right. These tires here especially just mean so much. But here they come. Brandon 6, 4 tires. Gave up the lead for this too, so that undercut by the guys who pitted before might matter quite a bit, but he'll have fresh tires later. That could mean a lot. Dohar, same thing, 4 tires and off he goes. So the lead right now will be given to Jackson Anderson up front. Potentially here a good move. Not sure if he took two right sides or whatnot, but either way, it gave him the lead. And I believe he did pit. So, man, lap 121. Into the wall, though. Gotta be careful there. But, man, good stuff. Frankie Barroso holding on to it. Devin Smacker and Nick Lights. I'll tell you what, these guys are looking kind of dangerous late on into this race. They're almost working together, right? With the draft, I feel like. Really, really doing a good job kind of staying in the front. And right now, they surpassed, Michael Johnson, Max Brady, guys like that. So they have the speed for sure to, get this thing done. I love that. Hey, I love that strat call in the chat, Brantley. Six and Bowie thinking that this is going to be the only stop. Good point, right? Maybe they stretch it out just enough to one-stop it. I like it. I like the call because right now we're 36 laps away almost. That could be done. Yeah, it definitely could be. But this race has to go green, right? For their strats to work, it has to go green. There cannot be a yellow flag. So we'll see. I like the strat. Dohar doing the same thing potentially, right? I mean, he's known to work that fuel strategy quite well, as we know. That's how he won Indianapolis, so I like it. I like that call out. So here is the battle for the lead. Frankie Barroso going to work his way on the inside here with Jackson Anderson. Man, Devin Smucker going to try and go desperation mode here and make a pass early on. Jackson just completely in the way here of these guys who are obviously faster, but hey, that's the playoffs for you. Frankie Barroso going to get the short end of the stick here. Man, that is not good. Devin Smucker, though, makes just an awesome move to take over the lead of this DripDropz 225. DripDropz on the hood and looking good right now because 26 on the car, 26, geez, in P1. Good stuff right there. Nick Light's going to follow suit as well. Frankie into the wall too. This is really not working out for him. Into the wall hard. Unless he's slowing up on purpose. Maybe he knows. Crap. The fuel is not going to last another pit stop. We will see. These guys, though, the way they're racing, probably have to pit once more. I feel like we're getting a fog on track. Is that the case? Let's take a ride on board Devin Smecker real quick. Yeah, maybe it's just our cameras have to get wiped off. I don't know, but I thought I saw, like on the front stretch, some fog rolling in, but you just never know. But Smecker up front has the lead. Earlier on, something about the way they looked in stage one that just seemed like they had that speed to contend, you know? And right now, they are proving it right. Nick Light's going to try and make it work too. Smecker got into the playoffs earlier with his win in Kansas. Nick Lights, though, has not won this season yet either. So he is trying to go for that first win. And man, that win could catapult him into the round of 8 just like that. So we'll see what he can do against his teammate. A couple of more guys, though, in the back. Michael Johnson still fighting for it. Frankie Barroso fell back a bit into P4. And he's even hitting the wall on entry. That's not good. Probably a very frustrated driver, if I had to guess. Daryl Young off pace right there. Pulls aside for the leaders. Much respect there. Millie not doing too bad either right now in P7. Smecker and Lights' teammate looking very, very strong on the outside lane. Right now with Jared Kaler, though, trying to get themselves into that top. Christian Angel on track right now. This looks to be an early pit stop. I believe he just pit earlier on, so I'm not sure why this is going down here, but interesting call. Same thing, Tim Robb. Fleming already on track right here as well, so maybe an early pit stop to wrap it up. All kinds of strategies in play right now. Folks, we've only had one caution, and that was for just a light tap earlier on in stage 1, lap 6. It was Salyers getting into Thomas George on accident, kind of in a weird braking zone or out of turn 2, but either way, they are trying to get this thing done. And Smecker up front, Lights in P2. This race has kind of flipped on a dime here. We saw Frankie Barroso leading for a majority of it, and really, you know, Michael Johnson up there as well, and those guys, but now it's the Bowie Esport drivers. So what can they do in this last 27 laps to get this race done? We expect, at least according to our notes here, I expect these guys to still have to pit for fuel. But did things change? Has somebody else worked it out to where they can get themselves to the end of this race on one stop? Here come a couple more. Jackson Anderson, Grant Salzano. Grant now has that right side heavy damage we're seeing. Definitely has gotten into the wall here pretty hard at some point. But Anderson looking pretty decent. 2 tires maybe for that 83 machine. Or does he go 4? Looks like 4 might be the case. Yes, it is. A lot of guys here still trying to make this thing happen. Lap 135. And only 25 laps to go here in this race. Really winding down pretty quick. Some notables here. Tyler Dohar in P13. We think Dohar is on the same strategy as Brandon Six and potentially even Brandon Bowie, where they can maybe make it on fuel on that one stop that they did a couple laps ago. So we'll watch them for sure to see if that is the case. Marshall Harris holding on right now to 13th spot. I'm getting word Matthew Pont. Oh, Marshall Harris. What a hero. Saved up that car from spinning out, hitting the inside wall. Great job by that 21. Matthew Pont had a crash, it looked like. According to what our system just said, some right front damage there. Doesn't look terrible, but definitely enough to come down pit road. Brandon Bowie down pit road here. So obviously not on the same strategy as his teammate Six and their competitor Dohar. So we'll see what this means for them. Max Brady down pit road as well. considering how these guys need to come down, that just tells me Zelazny as well. Man, this top 3, 4, 5, I don't know. These guys, I don't know if they can make it on fuel now. Little foggy here on the front stretch of Darlington Raceway, something different. Sometimes it doesn't mean to be that way, but hey, forecasted weather, and you never know what can happen. So, oh yeah, you can really see it now. Out of turn 2. Can ride on board real quick. Nick Lights. Oh yeah, almost nighttime here, but fog's kind of rolling in. Interesting. Hey, you don't plan for things like that, but sometimes it can be a pretty cool feature when you see it. Nikolai's doing what he can now to catch his teammate for that lead. Couple more guys here. Michael Johnson down pit road. There he is. Joseph Mealy. What do we expect? Do some guys take 2 tires, right? That might be a possibility. Do you take here come the leaders. Devin Smecker, Nick Lights, then Jared Kaler, excuse me. All down pit road. Man, that fog is no joke. That is rolling in onto the speedway. Just one more layer of difficulty as we continue. Frankie Barroso will now take the lead over with Brandon 6 behind in P2. And Frankie Barroso, I have seen him save some crazy fuel in races past. And right now, I just don't know if he's on the same strategy as 6. Has he saved enough fuel to go 19 more laps? I don't know. I don't think he has. Brandon 6, Tyler Dohar, I've got a feeling they have. So, man, what do they do? How do they do it? Marshall Harris right now in P4, by the way. Holy. Looking good here for Marshall Harris, man. He might have saved enough fuel too. I don't know. Lots of things could have happened. These guys back on to the track. Awesome stuff so far. 18 to go here for the DripDropz 225. Everyone's trying to make it. Can they go on fuel or can they not? Will we get a late race caution to really shake things up? I don't know. Anything can happen here in the first round, the first race of these playoffs. Bonepool had to remind me of the Motegi incident. Good Lord. At least this place has lights. It sure does. Hey, we're all allowed to mess up once in a while, and that was that was a big one by me, but it was pretty funny. I'll stand by that. So Frankie Barroso out in front. But hey, I think the chat's right. I think Brandon 6, Dohar, I think they're on that strat of making it on fuel. You know what? Let's just ride on board, actually, Brandon 6, and see if he can... Is he saving fuels? Oh, okay, yeah. Clutching it in right there. You can hear it. Really stretching the fuel out. Way before the braking zone. Clutches it in. And what that does, folks, it basically just brings those RPMs down to nothing. That way the engine's not working, which means it's using less fuel. So that right there is a good move here by 6. Is Dohar doing the same thing? Let's ride on board. He sure is. So these guys, while maybe not guaranteed to make it to the ends, they're going to sure as hell try. As, man, Scott Gasorn really off base right there and gets in the way. Okay. So this is going to come down to what's the strat, right? Like, who can do a better job? Because if Frankie Barroso is up front right now, if he knows, at this point he probably knows, right? Damn. 6 and Dohar are trying to stretch it out on fuel. So if I'm him, I'm probably hoping for a caution, I would say. I don't know. If he feels confident to go the rest on fuel, maybe, but based on the cockpit view here, let's take a look. Oh, here we go. Frankie coming down pit road here. He cannot stretch it. Probably has to come down pit road here. Caution did not come out. So that is going to be, unfortunately, the end, potentially, of his race. Well, not his race, but for a chance for the win, right? So that could be the case. Brandon 6 will take over the lead here. But the question remains, does he have enough fuel to get to the end? We have seen Brandon 6 try so many different things this season to try and win a damn race, right? I mean, Brandon 6 is arguably, well, not even arguably, it's statistically the best driver we've had in this series as long as he's been here with all the wins he's had. So this season, though, it's been elusive. He has not gotten that win. And, man, it's just really odd to see, right, how that can happen. But here he is, trying to pull kind of an interesting strategy out of the hat, I guess you could say, and pulling from different things we've seen, right? Tyler Dohar obviously doing Tyler Dohar things and saving fuel at the very end, and he might do it, right? It looks like he's going to be on that strat. Max Brady, I believe, just got out in front of Smucker and Lights on that green flag stop, so looking really good there too. But it comes down to this, right? Can 6 hold off these drivers on fuel? Now, 6 and Dohar definitely do not want a caution. But it all depends, right? Can they make it on fuel? Will we get a yellow? 10 laps to go. A lot can happen. Marshall Harris right now down pit road. It comes off pit road actually too, so Scott Casorn just the same. Great effort so far by Smucker and Nick Lights. Doing what they can to get themselves into a great points position for the next round, right? I mean, sometimes, hey, the win's nice, but getting yourself a top 5, especially in stage points, but also the race ending, finish. Man, Nick Lights, Devin Smucker, this is exactly what they needed to walk away with from Darlington, right? A good points-paying day. That way Martinsville next week can be a little bit less stressful, right? We're doing really, really good. Dohar, by the way, is not catching Brandon 6. He's kind of fallen back a little bit. So it seems like he's having to save more fuel potentially than 6, but it's kind of a two-dog fight at this point right now, because we're seeing 6 and Dohar with that fuel strat, seeing if they can make it happen. And then Max Brady going all out right now. We'll right on board just to make sure, but I don't believe Brady on back are trying to save fuel. I think they're just going out for it. Oh yeah, downshifting nice and late, and they are really grinding forward here. Devin Smucker right in that left side mirror, closing the gap. 6 laps to go here. DripDropz 225. Man, this is kind of reminding me of the All-Star race from last week. If you were here for that, for the Nashville race, man, Jackson Anderson was quickly catching Brandon 6 and Frankie Barroso as they were trying to save fuel. Couldn't get it done by Brandon 6. So right now, though, it looks like that might be the case. The question remains, does 6 and Dohar have enough fuel to get to the end? If so, then man, what a win for Brandon 6 and an awesome P2 here for Tyler to get this playoff started. Good stuff though right now. Dohar going to get passed by a couple more drivers, so that P2 is going to go away here because these guys are getting to have fresh tires, don't have to save fuel, so they can just go, go, go. Nick Light's going to get past as well, so it's going to be a top 5 there for Nick Light. It's actually a P4 for him. And Max Brady, these guys are really, really flying right now. But, again, 6 laps to go. 3 laps to go, excuse me, but 6 seconds back. And they are catching quick. But will it be enough? Really, really tough battle here for P2. Brady and Smecker. They know, hey, if 6 runs out again, oh, Smecker! Holy crap! I don't know how those 2 guys saved that. That was incredible. My word, Nick Lights just charges on through. Everyone's racing so hard. They know if 6 runs out of fuel, this is for the win. 6 is out front right now still by 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds. Close battle here. Nick Lights takes charge of P2. But 6, though, he still holds on to it. He's got to go 1 more lap around. And here it is, the white flag, sponsored by Cardano, is here for the DripDropz 225. Brandon 6 trying to go the distance here on fuel. And I'll tell you what, if Brandon 6 makes these 2 last corners, one of the most dangerous men on track in the playoffs is about to win this race and advance himself to the round of 8. Look out, championship. Brandon 6 is advancing to the round of 8. And the winner of today's DripDropz 225, Brandon 6. What an amazing job by Brandon 6 to somehow save enough fuel and only pull the 1 stopper to get it done. Brandon 6 gets the job done today and wins his first race of the season. I can't believe I'm saying that. The first race of the playoffs. There he is. Brandon 6 gets it done. Unbelievable job there. Does he have enough fuel for donuts? We'll find out. Incredible stuff, though. He sure does. Now he's just showing off. Brandon 6, the winner. Nick Lights in P2. Max Brady, 3rd place. Devin Smecker, P4. Michael Johnson in 5th. Dohar, a great job there. Same strat as Brandon 6. P6. Jared Kaler, P7. Brendan Bowie, 8th. Joseph Mealy, P9. Jackson Anderson, P10. There he is, your winner today for the DripDropz 225 at Darlington. Brandon 6 gets it done. His first win of the season and will advance himself into the round of 8. Awesome stuff, folks. We'll come right back. Thank some sponsors. We'll come back and we'll talk to your winner.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Welcome back, folks. It is the DripDropz 225, and we are at the conclusion, the final. It is Brandon 6 as the winner today. Unbelievable job. We're going to bring him in right now, starting from the top. Let's get him in. Brandon 6, the winner. Here he is, the man, Brandon 6. I cannot believe I'm saying this. 14 races into the season, but congratulations on your first win, man. And hey, it couldn't have come at a better time. You advanced yourself into the round of 8, and you won in Darlington, one of the hardest places, and you did it on fuel strat. How the hell did you win this race?
Honestly, kind of on a whim. I didn't realize the fuel strat until like 15 seconds before we went green. I'm like, man, I think I could split this up into 41 lap runs, and sure enough, I was able to. The only question was if I was going to be able to keep pace enough in the first run to not lose a ton of time for those guys to catch me on the back end, which I was able to do, luckily, hanging out there in second for quite a while until eventually I started getting tight because of the fuel saving and all that stuff. But I mean, honestly, I was kind of nervous because I was like, what's going to screw me over? Because I've tried so many different strategies this year and it really hasn't quite paid off. I tried the fuel strats. I tried just winning it on raw pace, and it feels like everything has gone against me in the regular season. So I'm glad at least my luck seems like it might be changing around for the playoffs. So hopefully we can continue this on for the next handful of races.
Yeah, man, really impressive stuff. I didn't expect the fog to roll in too like it did at the end of that race, so that was pretty cool to see. But man, really, really good stuff. Obviously, I didn't even expect in my notes that you could even make it. I thought fuel was like a 35 lap, give or take, range, but y'all proved me wrong. You and Tyler Dohar kind of went on the same strategy. He didn't really benefit as much as you, but you finished P6, so great stuff by following you kind of into that strategy. But good stuff, dude. You kind of walk in, hey, playoff time, you put the big boy pants on, and you get that first win, man. So good stuff. You become our 12th winner of the season. Give us real quick your shout-outs, man, your sponsors, friends and family. What you got for us?
Yeah, I got to thank Battle Beaver for being on the car for the season. And then obviously Bowie Esports, all the hard work we put in for these races, especially as we get closer to the playoffs, we put a ton of time into these and trying to figure out the different scenarios and all that good stuff. So I'll glad the hard work of everyone putting in there. And then obviously you, Steve, for putting on the league and the broadcast. And then obviously I gotta thank my friends and family.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, good stuff today. We'll see you next week in Martinsville.
Yep, thanks, Steve. Have a good one.
There he is, Brandon 6 with the big win today. Awesome stuff. Normally we bring in the third place person first, but they weren't ready, so we brought him in. So let's bring him in now. Max Brady. Actually, no, let's go 1, 2, 3 at this point. Let's bring in Nick Lights, actually kicking off the here's the man, Nick Lights right now, bringing it home. P2 for the night, man. Looks so good. It got dicey right there at the end. I know you guys were probably fighting to see if 6 is going to make it on fuel, so you guys were trying to slice it up, seeing if you guys could get that P1 spot if you did run out of fuel. But good stuff, dude. P2, you're fast all day long, man, and that fetch by Hosky machine's looking pretty damn good, I will say.
Yeah, we got a good finish out of it. Excited they came on board. I just want to give a shout out, or actually condolences to Matt Palomo and his family, the founder of W3I and USDM. They're great partners with Murphy Esports and ASRA, so he'll be missed. So prayers to his family. But yeah, I don't know what strategy Brandon 6 played there, but it worked out. So congrats to him. I think it's his first win this season, so that's pretty good. I'm still looking for mine. Come home second again, but yeah, I'm excited to head to Martinsville because I think that's a good track. If we can stay clean, I think we'll run pretty good. If not, then I think we'll have a bad day. But we won't hope for that. We'll hope for a win and advance to the next round.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a great effort today. That win's coming, I feel like, because man, it's just when the playoffs show up, you know, all the big dogs show up. You know what I mean? And you guys were there. You know, your teammates were all there too. So really good stuff. Sometimes the fuel just it stretched out way further than even I knew. So that can happen. But good stuff, man. Hey, give us your shout outs real quick. Sponsors, friends, and family, man. Good stuff today.
Yeah, shout out Fetch for coming on board with Hosky Cardano, and yeah, just thinking about Matt and his family in this time.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, good job today. We'll see you next week in Martinsville, dude. Have a good night. All right, there he is. Nick Lights, P2. Now P3 will bring in Max Brady. Finishing P3 on the day. We'll kind of rewind here to show you guys his last lap. Had some great battles alongside here with Devin Smacker. Let's bring him in, though. Max Brady. There he is, Max Brady of that 5 Machine Man, looking pretty good today. P3, you got to be happy about that. Looked pretty decent all race long. Had speed, kind of hovered in that top 3, top 5 the entire race. But I know track position's hard and dirty air and all that, but you got through it, man. Talk to us how it went for you.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited about a P3. I don't think I have done a race on the sim or even been on my sim since the last ASRA race, which was, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't practice either. I've been really busy with work and stuff. I recently moved, so I've been busy with that. And did about 20 laps of practice. I felt all right. I knew that it was going to tighten up, and a lot of times that's my weak link on this next gen car. I feel like I really burned the right front tire off. So to come out 5th in stage 1 and 2 and then snag a P3 there, I'll take it. I know that's going to give me a good points buffer to the elimination race next week at Martinsville. So I'm happy. I thought I was battling for the win there. So me, Lights, and Smirker had a hell of a battle. But Six, I feel like Six always does this. He's super fast, but whenever there's fuel races, I feel like Six is the guy to beat. He knows how to save fuel, and I mean, he showed us that he can do it again. He won. So.
Yeah, he basically pulled what Tyler did essentially at Indianapolis, where he just saved enough fuel.
Yep.
He kind of figured out what how to do it and whatnot. He mentioned in his interview a second ago. So even in my notes, I didn't expect that he, or really anybody, could make it on a one stop in that stage 3. But hey, props to him. Dohar did the same thing. It just didn't work out as well for him. He finished P6. But yeah, so a couple guys tried it. It worked out. But hey, that sometimes is how it goes. But yeah, we watched your battle with about 5 laps to go. You guys were really fighting for it. It was sick to watch, and obviously,
heck of a battle.
Yeah, we thought that was going to be the win as well if 6 ran out of fuel, and yeah, that was just overall good stuff. But yeah, P3 today, can't be down about that, man. Martinsville's always a fun track, and hey, 1 caution today, and it was really minimal too. So if we get a race like this next week, I'm pretty ecstatic. So good stuff, dude. Give us a shout outs real quick, man, for your sponsors or friends. What you got for us?
Man. Well, shout out to Smirker for racing me clean there. We were bumping and banging for like 7 straight laps, and he didn't put me in the fence or anything, so I appreciate him for racing me clean, same as Lights. But a big shout out to everybody at Flagship Motors. The big Blaze Crawford got P3 in the Pro Series contender, so he's locked into the Coke Series free agency stuff, into free agency, so a team needs to pick him up. But I feel like a team should pick him up because Blaze will put his head down and work, and he'll get you the best results. So shout out to Blaze on his P3. We both got P3 actually, so that's awesome. Both podium finishes.
Yeah, so now for the folks, if you don't mind, for the folks who don't know, Blaze Crawford, one of our playoff drivers here, has missed some races because he's been running in the contender series, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it basically sort of qualifies you if you finish top 20 for that little
top
season.
30 in
top
points.
30. So top 30 in points, you basically enter into a pool of where Coke Series teams can pick you up and things like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so out of the 30, 20 of them will get picked up by a Coke Series team, and then the other 10 will just become fill-in drivers. But I think Blaze has the work ethic and everything to get picked up by a team. So if there's anybody somehow watching this that needs to pick up a Coke driver, Blaze is your guy.
Hey, that's amazing.
So, yeah, so hopefully he gets picked up. That'd be cool. But,
yes, sir.
And then all the sponsors on this flagship car, Flem Dogs Auto Repair, San Antonio Karting Complex, Wheels America, Texas OEM Wheels, Oasis Sim Racing, Southern Diesel Solutions, and obviously Harpoon for the amazing paint. I can't thank all of them enough to make this happen. So we'll think we'll go to Martinsville with a pretty good points buffer, try to just survive that, maybe snag a win, we'll see, and get ready for the next round after that and try to go chase a chip with a flagship.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, really impressive stuff, dude. We'll see you next week, man. Good luck. Have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
There he is, P3, Max Brady. Very, very impressive run by everyone here, man. Such a good race today. One caution on the race, and that was it. Nice and simple. Man, I'll tell you what, very impressive race. Darlington under the lights. You can't get any better. Fog rolled in too, which is pretty funny. Didn't expect that, but hey, another extra layer into just the narrative, right? So good stuff. There's the leaderboard right there. That's how it all ended. Brandon 6, your winner from Darlington. The DripDropz 225. Awesome job. We're going to tally up the points. Next week is Martinsville, the cutoff race for the round of 12. Cannot wait to figure out how that will end and get it going. So folks, we'll see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Race Day and on X at ASRA iRacing. Go and check us out. Leave a like and subscribe on both platforms. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week, folks. Have a great night.